Alright, so if you've watched my channel before, you know back a little while ago when I went to see Place Beyond the Pines, I said that I did not see Iron Man 3 yet because I chose to see Place Beyond the Pines first when I had the chance. Now, I will end up seeing Iron Man 3 eventually, but for right now I'm going to review the first two movies, starting with Iron Man 1. Iron Man stars Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Jeff Bridges, and Terrance Howard. And kind of co-stars the director, Jon Favreau. Tony Stark, he's a weapons dealer, and he ends up being kidnapped by the Taliban, or I guess they're called the Ten Rings, Taliban-type group terrorists. They want him to build a form of weapon he's been making called the Jericho missile. And he eventually escapes by building a very primitive Iron Man suit and kicking all the terrorists' asses and flying out of there. And then decides, hey, all these weapons I'm building are being used against us. This is bad, no more weapons building. And so he cancels all that, builds a better Iron Man suit, and tries to go for world peace by destroying the rest of this Ten Rings terrorist organization. And Jeff Bridges is a part of that. And you have a big Ironmonger fight, and I'll get into it. And this was Marvel's first movie on its own, because there was all the others, Daredevil, Spider-Man stuff. But Marvel kind of doesn't own the rights, and so this is Marvel Studios where they can do whatever they want with their little franchise of characters that they have to set up for the Avengers and all, which when they were making this movie, I'm sure that was in the back of their head because they left little things in the movie. I've noticed that's like, yeah, if we do Avengers, there's all these little things. But this movie did something quite incredible. It took like a C-D-list character. Iron Man is lame, kind of, in the comics. Like, there might have been some cool stuff. For the most part, though, he's like a lame hero. He's like the Aquaman of Marvel, and he sucked. No one liked him. You take Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr., and they mesh together so well that Robert Downey makes it his own character at the same time. It's just, you'll never be able to do anyone else's Iron Man, I don't think, because he just fits the character so well and makes it his own. He just took that role and ran with it, and no one else can do it. It's not like something like Batman where, yeah, you can get different people in there. Or like a James Bond, it's like, no, this person stole this role forever. You got Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, the sort of love interest, but not really for this movie. She's really good in this. Her and Robert Downey Jr. have great chemistry with their characters, and all their scenes together are great. Jeff Bridges as Robert Downey Jr.'s almost mentor, his father's friend that he works with, and becomes the villain. Ah, man, the dude as the villain, he was pretty good, I gotta say. You wouldn't think the dude would be evil, but he is pretty bad. And Terrance Howard, watching this movie makes me sad, because there's parts where it's just like, man, he did good, and then he just got kicked to the curb for Don Cheadle. It sucks, kind of. Especially that one scene where he sees the Iron Man suit and he's like, next time, baby. And that right there, I just felt so bad. I was like, oh. There never was a next time, so it's unfortunate. But, in this movie, he's really good. I buy him and Robert Downey Jr. as friends. They have good chemistry. I like him. I thought he was good. I'll talk about how much better or worse I think Don Cheadle is next time, but I like Terrance Howard. He's fun. Jon Favreau's direction, though. Oh, he's a good director, man. I haven't seen a whole lot. I remember the third being alright. I really like Elf. Iron Man 2 we'll talk about, but this movie, Jon Favreau directed it so well. And what's good is he's able to balance the really serious parts of the story and the action with a lot of comedy. But it's not like misplaced comedy where it's just sticking out like, wow, they're just trying to make this funny. It fits the story. Unlike Iron Man 2, where I'll talk about eventually, it just felt like they overdid the comedy there. This one, it really works. And then you get the whole tone, feel, the attitude of this movie, I guess you could say. Man, the soundtrack's good because it's all AC/DC, and you wouldn't think of it at first, but just yeah, it's all AC/DC. Kind of fits Iron Man if you think about it at this point. The character they have is yeah, AC/DC is pretty much his anthem. All the action is really cool. You get great CGI. I'm not sure how much the CGI are practical with the Iron Man suit, but all the scenes of him flying around having his little battles with people, that's awesome. He gets to take on terrorists like the Taliban stuff. That's awesome. Everyone wants to see the terrorists get punched in the face or burned alive or blown up. There's a lot of it. A lot of great action scenes. Just great stuff in this movie. It works so well, and it was such a You capture lightning in a bottle. This movie just hit a chord with people, and pretty much everyone loves this movie because it's fantastic. It's a really good movie. Probably Marvel's best movie, aside from some like the Avengers, but it's just so good. There's so much good with the writing and everything. Oh my god, just great, great movie. The Iron Man Ironmonger fight, though, left a little to be desired. I mean, sure, you got Tony just kind of like, yeah, I'm blowing some stuff up and shooting a couple dudes, but it's not like he's got a big villain. So when you get him and Jeff Bridges fighting, and it's like a big version of the Iron Man suit that should have been better than it was. I mean, technologically, it's a little behind, and so it's like when Iron Man's flying, I don't know if it's intentionally funny or not, but like Ironmonger trying to fly, it's like the space shuttle trying to take off, just slowly rising above the ground, and then Iron Man's just basically like sitting over there just waiting, kind of like, you coming up, big boy, or what? We gonna fight? And he's like, oh, hold on, I'm making my way up. He's just really slow. And the fight, there were some cool parts, but just there's a part where they could have ended it, and then they go on to have a fight in the roof, and it feels a little lackluster and not as good as it should have been with all the lead up. And that's the only disappointing part's the end fight is not as good as it could have been. Aside from that fantastic movie, I'd give Iron Man an A. This movie's great. So if you like this review, like or subscribe, and tell me who's your favorite actor in a superhero movie role. Robert Downey Jr. comes in and makes the role his own, just takes it and says, no one else can do this but me. Who's your favorites? There's maybe some from Batman, or do you like Christopher Reeve's Superman, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? There's a lot out there. I gotta think about. I'll do it too. I'll do Marvel and DC, because Marvel, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man's fantastic, perfect, and DC, Christian Bale's Batman, both just awesome. And if you guys are interested more, and I don't know, a little bit after I put this up, I'll be reviewing Iron Man 2. I have a lot of stuff to say about this movie, and I'm excited to tell you about it. And aside from that, Star Trek. I want to see Star Trek 2 Into Darkness. Still haven't seen the first, refuse to see the second until I see the first, so if I can find a way to see the first soon, probably be seeing the second couple weeks or something, maybe in review it. I'm not sure. I might have to wait until it comes on Blu-ray. But also, Fast and Furious 6 is coming out. I'm definitely going to see that. I'm a fan of the franchise, even though most of the franchise sucks. But I'm going to be reviewing the first one, the Fast and the Furious. Look at Paul Walker. Look at that curly hair. Then Too Fast, Too Furious. The only way you can watch this movie is on Blu-ray, because all the neon and MTV trash in it must be viewed in high definition. Have you seen what's his face? Ludacris? Ludacris's afro in the movie. It's so big. You gotta see every little curl in that damn thing. It's just, that's an amazing afro. And I do not own the two worst, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I own Too Fast, Too Furious. This is a terrible movie. I own that one at least. Kind of a guilty pleasure. Tokyo Hot Dog, or Tokyo Drift as most people refer to. I don't own it. I'm going to see if I can rent it. I need to watch that. I don't want to though. Lucas Black, that stupid hick. We're going to race some cars up in Tokyo up in there. Racing cars. You know, you got a little Bow Wow with you driving, and you got Sun Kong. I don't like him. He from Tokyo. Them Japanese boys, they blew up Pearl Harbor, you know what I'm saying? It's miscast. But, you know, it's from the same director that made Fast 5, but then Fast and Furious, probably the worst of them all, but I'll rent it unless I can find it on TV. I don't own that one for sure. And then Fast 5, really excited to review this. This is a great Ocean's 11 with cars. Okay, that's an awesome movie. So that's all the stuff's coming up in the future. Did I just bring in some Lucas Black stuff in the future? Go and review those movies up in the future, a couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? Wow, I'm going to burn in hell. And I'm working on a special little video. I'm not going to reveal what it is just yet. This might actually be my 200th video, so I probably should have put it up for this one, but I won't. It'll be somewhere around here. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might appreciate it more than if you're a new viewer. Interesting little video. You'll see what that is in a little while. Alright, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.